Hey Regan, my name's Hugo Ogwin. How are you?
Hey, good. How's it going?
Good. I just want to thank you for taking the time out to do this interview. I want to ask you, how would you describe your 2012 season? I'm sure it hasn't been quite the start you've been looking for.
Well, yeah. I mean, certainly, we'd like to have a better start than what we've had so far this year, but we're working hard to figure out what's been going on. You know, we started off the first 4 or 5 races and felt like we were going to be in good shape, and at some point kind of hit a little bit of a wall and a little bit of a lull, and things took a different turn, a different direction for us, and we've been working hard to get out of this little rut that we've been in, and thought Talladega was going to be the weekend that we were able to do that, and unfortunately, you can't help it when you have a motor blow and different things like that happen, but going to Darlington's not a bad thing. It's another good track for me, and someplace else that I'm thinking we can start rebounding and start getting back on the right direction here.
How excited are you to get back to Darlington, to where you got your first win last season?
Well, I'm real excited, and anytime you get your first win somewhere and you get to go back there, it's a big deal. It'll be the first time in my career I've been a defending race winner at a racetrack, and I look forward to doing that, and would love to get a second win. I know my mom wasn't. She's sitting next to me here. She wasn't able to be at the win last year. She was off doing some other things, and certainly would like to let her experience that taste of victory, like I got to experience last year, and in particular with it being Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, she's sitting right next to you right now.
Yep. Here also on the line.
Yeah. So now going into this weekend, I want to ask your mom, Lee, and thank you for coming on. I want to ask you, how did you feel last year, in Darlington, and just not being able to be at the track? But I'm sure you were watching at home. What was your reaction when you saw Regan get his first win?
The first thing I thought was, I was actually out on a rescue with animals. I was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, after the tornadoes. And I couldn't believe that I wasn't there. I just couldn't believe it. And I knew he was going to do it when it 6 laps to go. I knew he was going to do it somehow.
It's just that mother's intuition, right?
That's correct. And I hadn't seen any of the race. We didn't have power where I was at. So I got to see like the last 10 laps of it, basically.
Okay. Now, and you're going to you're going to, of course, attend this weekend, right? You don't want to miss it. Maybe a back-to-back win.
That is correct. I'm definitely going to be there, and not to put the pressure on Regan, but a win would be nice.
I know. What could be a better Mother's Day gift?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's all I want, right?
Now, when you watch Regan race, I mean, do you ever get nervous about his safety, driving the cars, especially after the accident last week with Eric McClure in the Nationwide Series with that his injuries?
I used to when he was younger. It really bothered me, but now it doesn't because the cars are so safe. Everything is safe outside, inside the car, so he's good. I worry more about him off the track than on.
Off the track? Oh boy! Why? What's going on off the track?
Well, lots of things go on off the track. That's actually, as we're talking here, one of the things that we're promoting and helping to bring awareness to is the CSX Play It Safe campaign. It's part of what we have on the car this weekend, and there's I think 1,965 accidents in 2011 occurred, and or incidents on train tracks occurred, and we're trying to bring awareness to that. We want to bring that number down, and want to make sure people realize that a train can come from any direction and can cause somebody to have a bad day.
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, like, were you surprised when you first heard about those kind of statistics with those kind of accidents?
Yeah, well, I think as we got into this stuff and started getting the facts and learning more and gaining more knowledge about it, there was a lot of things that you just don't realize. I think as an everyday person, obviously you see how big a train is, how powerful a train is. I was able to actually get in one and really feel that firsthand with the engineers on the train. how much force and power they actually have as we're going down the track with it. So it's there's a lot of parts to it that are interesting and that maybe I didn't realize, other people don't realize. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is just use caution when you're around the railroad tracks, please. That's what we want to see people do, and play it safe.
For pedestrians, like motorists, what are some like precautions really that they should take around like railroad crossings and the tracks? That probably most of us just are completely oblivious to when we're just driving and walking down the road.
Yeah, well, I think you just hit it on the way. Don't be oblivious, basically. You gotta pay attention, and you gotta use caution when you see the railroad tracks. Don't try to outrun a train. You're not going to. It's not going to work out good. That train. It takes that train up to a mile to stop, depending on how fast it's going. And your car, you've got a brake pedal there. You can stop in 60 feet usually, depending on how fast you're going. So just pay attention, play it safe, and be aware of your surroundings.
So where can some of the listeners go for more information on the Play It Safe campaign? To just look at the statistics for themselves.
Well, we've got a website set up. It's csxplayitsafe.com. All kinds of information and different facts and things like that on there, so they can go there and check that out.
Great. Hopefully get the awareness out and just make things a whole lot safer. Now, just getting back into the racing side, I just wanted to ask you real quick about Talladega. How did Jack? I'm sure it must have felt horrendous, but what was your reaction when you got out of the car? After you blew the motor, because you're really strong at the restrictor plate races, and you're always running up in the front, and that looked like to be a race that you can definitely contend to get a win at.
Yeah, I think from a team standpoint, Furnace Row Racing, we always expect to go to the speedways and be up front and have a shot at a win and certainly a good finish. And I guess I was dejected when I got out of the car. I threw my helmet, I kicked the tires, I punched a wall. No, I didn't do any of that stuff.
Didn't punch any glass like Amari Starminer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was looking for cameras so I could go get mad at the camera guys. And no, I was. It's racing. You're going to have parts malfunctions from time to time. We're fortunate. We get great engines from ECR, and those guys have done a really good job for us. And I think in 2 years, it's the second engine malfunction we've had. We don't know what happened yet. It wasn't heat-related, which was an issue for everybody there, but this particular circumstance wasn't heat-related. So we'll get it back. It takes a little bit longer because our cars have to go to Colorado before the engines can come back to North Carolina. But we'll get the engine back to them. I'm sure they'll figure it out, and we'll keep it from happening again. So, in the meantime, it's in the past. You got to put it behind you. You got to move on to the next race, and for us, that next race is Darlington. It's a track that we go in there with confidence. We go in there with momentum from last year, and we're going to use it to build the momentum for this year and get pointed in the right direction again.
Are you bringing the same car you won with last year to this weekend's race?
Nah, we've retired that car. That car is, I think it's still sitting in the shop right now. Last time I was at the shop, it was there. I'm not sure if it's moved since then, but that one's going to go into storage, I guess, if you want to call it that. It was actually, at the time, our oldest car in our fleet, so it was due to be retired shortly anyways. And whenever it won the race, then we decided instead of scrapping it, we were going to clean it up and put it off in the corner and cover it up for good.
Oh, wow. Must have felt like I took a big sigh of relief. Like, whew, we saved that one before last season's race.
Yeah, no, it was the oldies are the goodies.
Yeah. Now moving forward, going into the this weekend's race and going into Darlington, what does to race at such a historic track, when you just walk in and you come in and get in the car, pull on the track, do you feel like that history, that energy at the track, just from all the history of great races there when you're out there?
Well, yeah, I think the best way you can look at Darlington is it's like taking a trip back in time almost. You go into the racetrack there and into the facility, and it just, you can feel the history oozing out of the place, and you can look at the corners and know that, we're raced on the exact same part of the racetrack that they raced on, even 40, 50 years ago. And here we are in 2012, rim riding right up against the wall. 190 miles an hour or whatever. I think that's right about where the top speed is there, maybe 180. And it's special. Even before I got my first win there, we go there and it felt different than other racetracks. It felt more historic. I guess the best comparison I can make is going to baseball parks. When you go to Wrigley Field, it feels different than any of these new parks that they're building. It just feels like you're taking a trip back in time, and that's what Darlington feels like to me.
Well, hopefully you can relive the past and get from last season, just get back into victory lane. I want to thank both you, Regan, and Lee for taking the time out to talk to me, and good luck this weekend, and get your mom the best Mother's Day present she can get.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you.